Hardware and software in this video were provided as part of the MetaQuest Creator Program.
Hey folks, welcome to another video. Today, we are playing Color a Cube for a couple of reasons. Number one, there's this really awesome new expansion featuring a very cool game, Walltown Wonders. And this is the balloon from Walltown Wonders right here. And I figure, based on how things are going this week, it's been a challenging week for the VR industry. I wanted to make a video with a fairly calm title. I'm also all about calm this year. In 2026, one of my goals is to try to maintain positivity and try to really focus on the important parts of my content creation journey, which to me are providing a sense of discovery to the folks that visit the channel and keeping a level head. And it's hard to keep a level head right now when it comes to the VR industry. A lot of what I would call negative things are happening. It's a hard time across the video game industry. And right now, VR, particularly in the past week, has gone through a lot of tense and anxious moments. If you are not following the VR industry and in general are just stumbling upon this video, or are a casual user of a virtual reality headset, you might not know everything I'm about to share, but earlier this week there were a significant number of studio closures and layoffs, not just through one company. Meta, however, had a significant number of layoffs, and it appears that also some of their second and third party projects have also been canceled, which involved layoffs at some of the other VR developers. I am currently, maybe ironically or coincidentally, using a Quest headset to color this balloon from Walltown Wonders. I do want to mention both Color a Cube and Walltown Wonders are available on the MetaQuest platform and are games that I really like. This one, particularly because it's fairly calming to just sit and basically paint by number or color by number using a 3D model in virtual space. And I really enjoy this activity, and I struggled to make today's video. My channel for the majority of 2026 thus far has been focused primarily on different types of other head-mounted displays. So whether it be AR glasses or just standard display glasses. And part of the rationale, I believe, for some of the changes within Meta's organization is because of the popularity of those types of glasses. And Meta calls them AI glasses, and Meta AI, I'm just going to say, at least current state, kind of sucks. So I'm not even keen on using Meta's AI glasses anymore. At least in the current time frame, I've been using the X3 Pro from the folks at Radio for the past week or so. Really loving them thus far. I use them for heads-up notifications. I use them for all kinds of music playback, photo capture, video capture. They've been really cool to use and to kind of explore the potential of. And I think that exploration is something that, again, the folks at Meta are doing as well. But the folks at Meta are, the decision makers at least, are people that are making decisions to try to be a profitable company. And I make decisions for the channel based on things that I have interest in. This is a hobby for me. This isn't something that I do for financial gains. So sometimes that's a direct conflict. I am very sad that many folks who I've worked with in this industry have lost their jobs this week, or are at studios that are impacted by downsizing because they're affiliated in some way with a project that was being built for a Meta platform, or just due to the state of the industry, they don't have the means to execute on the project that they were working on. Or they had terrible sales on their last X number of projects and just don't have the ability to support employees anymore. Like, there's a lot of things that have happened across the games industry in general. And primarily, like I said, the focus of my channel has been related to VR. I feel like, though, this isn't like the death knell of VR. Virtual reality is in a place where there are thousands of experiences, thousands of worlds that you can step into and embody yourself as a different character, or relax like I'm doing with Color the Cube right now. There's so many things and still so much potential for this medium, and I don't think it's going anywhere. There will always be millions of headsets either on the new market or used market, and there will always be someone that wants to pick up this type of device and either create or explore with it. So whether that means there's shiny new hardware or even new software, even 10 years ago, literally 10 years ago, when I first started exploring virtual worlds with the Gear VR Innovator Edition, the Google Cardboard, and actually 10 years ago in January, the HTC Vive Pre, when there were maybe 20 experiences available to play or even play test as even tech demos. The comment that I made back then was, even if there's nothing else, I feel like this is something that's made it. So VR is here to stay. And I feel like that's something that might get lost in all of the sadness and anxiety this week, is business decisions made by giant corporations. They hurt. They hurt a lot, especially when the people involved are people that have been part of this community And I feel like the VR community is a very tight-knit community, and we're all hurting together in this particular set of circumstances. But I want to also voice words of encouragement, whether you support as platforms, as strangely I am doing right now, just because I was searching for something that I could do to calm myself while I made this video. But whether you support their platforms or you're building for other VR platforms, whether that be Steam VR, whether that be PSVR, whether that be Android XR, whether that be some crazy experimental headset that you've made in your college dorm room, like whatever platform you've chosen to support, you're creating art. And whatever platform you've chosen to invest in, if you're just a hobby player of these types of things, whether that be for gaming, whether that be for art, whether that be for productivity, you're part of this community. And the community continues to survive, maybe on life support or maybe needing a little bit of assistance, but no one's going anywhere. Through all of the frustration, through all of the hardships that we may face, the VR community is here to stay. It may go a bit underground for a period of time. In some ways, it may be better if it had always been underground. When 10 years ago, there were two upcoming headsets coming to market. The HTC Vive, which was in combination with the folks at Valve for their launch, and the Oculus Rift. And at that time, the HTC Vive had full room scale, which to me was a much more appealing thing than sitting at a desk with a controller. Ultimately, I ended up mostly sitting at a desk with a controller because most of the experiences that came out were sitting at a desk with a controller experiences. And ultimately, when the platforms shifted, and now, the majority of VR titles nowadays are built for standalone platforms like the Meta Quest 3S that I'm currently using. A lot of those titles became more sedentary titles, and I actually found that I prefer exploring these worlds when I can relax, as opposed to being super physical. There are times for more physicality in virtual reality, and I'm super glad that those titles exist. One title I want to mention is the awesome Pistol Whip by Cloudhead Games, which does get me up and moving, but I also have the option of playing while seated, and it's great that developers have had consideration for all playstyles. The folks at Cloudhead, unfortunately, appear to have had a significant project dropped, which dried up a lot of their funding, and they had to scale back their team. And I believe the number that was quoted was 70% of their team had to be laid off because of the market shift and because of this potentially canceled project. But that team is still going. And that team is actually one of the first teams that I ever got to interact with. Way back at PAX West, more than a decade ago, when they showed off their title, The Gallery. Again, on the HTC Vive prior to the Vive launching. And I've gotten to interact with members of that team over the last decade. And, they're a resilient bunch, even though they're going through these challenges. Somehow they're still creating, and they're creating in this particular medium, this particular niche of the video game industry. I've recently been playing a lot of a game called Titan Isles from the folks at SciTech Games, and they're currently working to adapt that title for other platforms beyond the ones that are currently available. And just again, the resiliency of that team, just from day one, some of the earliest titles for virtual reality they produced, and still games that I love, like Crystal Rift and Windlands. Those titles, even though they're a decade old, they're timeless. And anyone even new to virtual reality 20 years from now can still pick those up and get hours and hours of enjoyment from them. I found some zeros. Cool. Maybe these are the last of these. I don't know. Not yet. Okay. Let's go back to the threes because there's tons of these. But right now, we're in a tight spot in the entire video game industry, but particularly when it comes to virtual reality. And all I can really say is I'm going to keep going. There's a bit of a stigma every time something happens where people bring up, hey, people are Meta creators, they're affiliated with Meta. And I just want to once again reiterate, I am a part of the MetaQuest Creator Program. I am not a part of any type of affiliate program with Meta. There are multiple of those. Because at this point, I don't necessarily believe in the products that Meta are selling. I think having the ability to pick up a powerful VR headset for an inexpensive price, whether that be picking up through a reseller of an older unit, like the Quest 2 for example, or even picking up a PC VR headset, even as old as the HTC Vive. The ability to get into virtual reality has become both easier and harder. If you're buying new, the world has changed a lot in the past few years, and things have become almost entirely unaffordable. But you can pick up a used VR headset for anywhere from $50 and up that is still perfectly usable today. It can be used to access hundreds or even thousands of experiences across the storefronts of your choice. This I am playing on the MetaQuest platform, but there's independent games that you can pick up on itch.io. There's things that you can pick up on Steam. There's titles on SideQuest. There are mods for games that aren't even initially supported in virtual reality, that you really need to own the original game for, but then can add some additional files, and in some cases get full 6 degrees of freedom virtual reality from it. So it is both a sad time because of all of the direct changes and job loss and shifts in the market that are happening. Um, but it's also a beautiful time because there are so many different experiences, so many different things that you can do in virtual reality because of the work that many who recently lost their jobs and many who continue to struggle in this industry and continue to build in this medium have made. Still have some threes. I'm trying to find them here. Those are mostly sixes. And yes, I know I can probably highlight it somehow, but oh, there's more zeros. Let's go back and get those. Are there more? Probably are. There's one. We'll go back to, I guess we'll move on to 4. So if we move to 4, I know there's some 4s down here. Saw these earlier. So I am still in the MetaQuest Creator Program. I recently committed to another year in the program, and even last year I was already kind of wishy-washy because, again, I don't necessarily believe in policies and practices of leadership at Meta. But what I can say is the people that I work with and that I have worked with over the years across multiple Meta teams, whether it be the teams working on the updates to the user interface for the MetaQuest platform, the teams that work on allowing for better capture tools for content creators, even the wearables team I got the opportunity to work with a bit last year. Those teams have some of the most brilliant and dedicated people on them, despite working for in a lot of ways, fairly terrible corporation, who really seem to follow the whims of the politics of whoever is in office, and kind of are led by people who... There's a 3. Let's go do that. Chase after their own whims and focus on that sometimes more than what the community is asking for. And I have to say, I work in corporate America, in a completely different industry, far outside of virtual reality. And I struggle with these types of things as well. Even within the company that I work for, there are decisions that are made that aren't ones that I would agree with. But what I try to do, both in my work as a meta creator and my work as part of my day job, is focus on what I can offer. And what I can offer to the VR community is continued support of developers, continued support of the medium, and continued support of giving people the tools that they need whether that be through helping beta test or provide feedback, or sometimes actually physically giving the energy toward those particular tools. I don't see any more 3s right now, so let's move to 5, and we'll go back to those others later. So while I'm in the program still, last year didn't focus on any sales, didn't focus on any advertising for Quest products. I was sent as a gift a headset that I'm currently using, the Quest 3S Xbox Edition. I really love this headset. It's black, which is different than most other Quest headsets, but I didn't really push anything or try to sell people on purchasing this device. I think that consumers have a choice at this point. There are some fantastic headsets outside of the United States. Totally recommend checking out, particularly if you can get them for a decent price, the Pico headsets. Very similar experience to a Meta Quest. If you're looking for something a little bit more high-end, of course, I really love my Galaxy XR, which is an Android XR headset. The HTC Vive XR Elite is a fantastic headset, particularly with the more recent comfort pack that came out. Pimax makes some pretty decent headsets. I'm really impressed with the Dream Air. I'm hoping when the Dream Air that has inside-out slam tracking comes out that it's good, because I was really impressed when I did my demo of that device. Play for Dream makes fantastic headset. Their headset prototype at CES looked really awesome. From my understanding, it might actually be based off of an existing headset model from a reference model from another company. But people seemed really impressed with it and really happy with it, so I'm excited for the evolution of that prototype into a real product in the future. But focusing on just what's on the market today, I feel like there are tons of VR headsets and products out there. And it's a good time also to jump in and experience some of the past 10 years, at least, of modern VR titles. And there's upcoming headsets too, like the Steam Frame, which I don't think is going to be the end-all be-all of headsets, or better or worse than other devices, but gives another opportunity for you to pick up a device catered toward virtual reality. But in their case, they're also putting kind of a spin on it where they want you to be able to use that to play flat screen games as well. So, and there's lots of other things in the pipeline, and not just virtual reality, but also augmented reality. Snap has indicated that they're going to finally release a consumer version of the Snap Specs, their full AR version of their Spectacles product. The folks at Xreal have a collaborative effort with Google for Android XR. And there's just so many other companies kind of getting into the game. Of course, let me see There's also the big names like Apple and Sony. Still Meta to an extent, even if they have really seem to prioritize their money-earning glasses at this point, which in a lot of ways the glasses that they're prioritizing, I don't even really consider augmented reality. They're glasses with speakers and audio and cameras, but not necessarily glasses that can transport you or augment your reality. Don't get me wrong, I have a pair of Ray-Ban Meta glasses that I wore daily until I got the X3 Pro, actually. And I did experiment with the Meta Ray-Ban display. Unfortunately, it ended up not being the ideal product for me. But again, those products exist. So I don't want to discount them. And I do want to continue to champion the works of those in the VR industry. And I feel like as a content creator within this space, I don't want to exclude people that are making titles on the MetaQuest platform. It's just going to make the platform struggle even more. And, you know, one of the things I've mentioned to close friends, and I'm going to share here now, is I'm very sad to see people lose their employment this week. But I've also shifted my tastes a bit over the past couple of years. And I found myself with at least the first party titles and the titles that Meta really collaborated directly on last year. I played a couple of campaigns of Civilization 7. And it was fantastic that they were able to get Civilization 7 into a virtual reality experience. But after I played this couple of campaigns, I'm not super into Civilization 7 to begin with, and I found myself not going back to it. And I had no desire to return to it. There's a 4 there. Hi. Meta's other big titles, one of the ones that came out last year was Star Wars Beyond Victory. We were really excited when it was coming, and ultimately when it came out, it didn't feel like a game that I would want to revisit after I played through it. And the only mode that I really enjoyed was the mode where you were playing with action figures, essentially, posing them in scenes in mixed reality. And that was more, honestly, of like a 15 to 20 minute experience, because they didn't expand out to more characters or things of that nature than something that I would devote hours to. And I feel like it's important to have experiences, whether they be social VR, whether they be broad worlds to explore. It's important to have those experiences available that make you want to continue revisiting over extended periods of time. And I don't know, but I feel like the last couple of years of first-party meta titles did that. It's not for me. I didn't mention another title that came out last year, because because I didn't bother with it because I had no interest in it. Deadpool VR. I had the opportunity to have very early access to a demo for that game, and it wasn't the game for me. I'm not into violent shooters. All it was a violent shooter. In fact, in the first demo, the thing that they wanted you to highlight was like kill cam, like show us your best kills. And how about if I have no kills? Like, I like to be a chill person exploring worlds, not a crazed maniac killer. And Deadpool just wasn't a character that I felt I wanted to embody. So when given the opportunity to play that particular title, I turned it down. So again, the last great that I can think of meta title, first party that I played, was Asgard's Wrath 2, which I do continue to still pick up and play because it is a fantastic game. One of my favorite games ever in virtual reality. And that studio is one of the ones that was cut this week. And I'm really sad to see those people laid off. And it's a very tough time in the global economy right now to not have a job. So I'm really, I feel for them. I wish there was more I could have done to support their work than I did. But I'm one person who's been a part of the VR space for over a decade now. And I feel like one of the things that's important to corporations like Meta are the bottom line. Like, if they aren't going to make a significant amount of profit or expand the user base a significant amount, they don't want to continue pouring money into, and this is, again, like, I'm part of the community that would currently pick up and support VR titles, ongoing VR titles. What I'm about to say is just like a corporate viewpoint, but it's also the truth, and it's also reality. The same 1,000 people might pick up the titles that Meta released last year, and then if similar titles came out next year, pick up those similar titles. And I'm using the number of 1,000. That's a very low estimate, of course. But if there aren't 10,000 other people who become interested, that want to pick up these products, that want to adopt this medium, then what's the value in creating more content? They don't have 100 million people market penetration with Quest devices or with their older Rift headsets. So why continue to invest in the exact same people over and over again without growing that population? So I can understand somewhat the market shift. I don't think that Meta is fully abandoning virtual reality. I think this is going to be a very quiet year for virtual reality as they figure out their next steps. And when I say quiet year, I don't mean in the entire world. I just mean from the Meta standpoint. I think because of what has just happened, there are now thousands of people who have been impacted by job loss who can potentially go back to their dream projects, the things that they couldn't work on because they were tied to whatever the corporate approach was. And hopefully some of those will come to light. And they could be some of the best experiences in the world. And I absolutely want to support those developers, and I want to see them be able to maintain independence or form studios with other people that have similar passions, or in some cases, if they choose to leave the virtual reality space to survive, or because they're just fed up with trying and trying and trying and they've hit the wall so many times and they give up, I want to support their next projects too, whatever they may be. Because this community's given so much to me, I want to give back as much as I can to them as well. I know this is a lot of just me kind of rambling and talking about my opinions. Might not be the best video to watch, but just wanted to kind of get this out there. Lots of people have shared their thoughts. Mine include a lot of sadness, but also a lot of hope. I have to say, when I picked this particular color cube level, I picked it mainly because, you know, it's an object from another awesome VR title. So I was like, yeah, this kind of fits my mood and fits the placement of what I want to play today. And I don't typically, like, I set a bit of a calendar when it comes to virtual reality titles, but I don't have a set schedule. Like, I don't have to meet embargoes usually or things of that nature. I just kind of go at my own pace and do what I want on the channel. And today, one of the things that I wanted to actually try to do was play through some of the VR mode of Lush Foil, which is a photography simulator that's available on Steam. And I couldn't get a good means to capture from Lush Foil. The viewpoint that it gives on desktop is not ideal for watching on YouTube. It is definitely a fun game, something that I would encourage checking out if you have the opportunity to, whether you're playing on flat screen, which is actually even a better experience in my opinion, because you get almost photorealistic graphics while you're exploring environments from places in the world that at least I've not had the opportunity to visit myself. It's very cool to be able to do that, whether that be on a flat screen or in VR. But I wanted to check that out and couldn't figure out a way to get that to work. Another game, also strangely photography related, that had an update that came out this week was Birdseed. And I don't know if it's a bug on my headset or a bug with the build, but I couldn't get that to launch properly. So fallback here was to check out Color Cube. And I thought it would be a good title to just talk through. My observations, kind of the state of the VR industry. I will say, there's events coming up, so GDC is coming up, and they've changed the name of it to, instead of just being the Game Developers Conference, it's now the GDC Festival of Gaming. And they're touting it as this like celebration of the game development world. And the games industry right now, as a whole, not just in VR, is really hurting. So, like, I'm debating whether or not I want to apply for a press badge to attend, because it just doesn't feel like the right time to go to an event. First of all, it costs thousands of dollars, um, which means that developers have to pay that just to go see other developers, basically. It's just, it doesn't feel like the right use of my time. But it is local, and I don't see myself having the ability to travel all that much this year. So I may attend just to see some other content creators, some developers, folks that I probably won't get to see at other events that I usually attend throughout the year. So I probably won't be able to make it to those events this year. To really flesh out here. A lot of 13s though, if you look at that. Something strangely calming about this kind of color by number. I really like that this title exists, but also, in addition to the title existing, I really like that they continue to expand it. And these recent puzzles that include objects or characters from other games are ones that I've really enjoyed. They did a whole series of Dead Cells once. Dead Cells is one of my favorite Metroidvania style games. I've played on mobile, I've played on PC. Not available in virtual reality, at least not yet. Maybe someday, who knows? Maybe somebody will make a crazy VR mod for it. But what is available in VR in Color Cube is the ability to color some of the characters, and that includes your main headless character that you play as, which is pretty cool. I've really enjoyed these puzzles. And this series on Walltown Wonders recently started coming out. This is, I believe, the second puzzle of a pack of 4 that you can color from this game, because this one's a VR game. That's why I wanted to highlight a puzzle from this series. But also, I just kind of like the imagery of this balloon. I thought it would be a fun one to color, to try to cheer myself up a little bit. Murky, anxiety-filled week that this genre has gone through. And again, I just want to acknowledge and shout out to everyone within the VR community who have championed this medium for, in some cases, 3 or 4 decades. I've only been exploring virtual reality for 1 decade thus far, but some of the nicest people I've ever met. And I wish nothing but love and support, particularly if you've been impacted by recent changes in the market, whether that be job loss, whether that be canceled projects, whether that be just frustration. Hopefully we'll get through this. And I know that the community will continue to support everyone else as much as we can. I don't know how many more 13s there are, so I'm going to start 14s. I'm sure I will find the 13s as I go. Yeah, this isn't an upbeat video, because, like I said, lots of sadness, lots of unknowns right now in the VR market. But I want to continue this lean back and chill mindset that I started off the year with. Really, like I said, more than anything else, I have hope that while things have become more challenging, and there's definitely some hidden 6s there. Those. There's an 8. Alright. So we got 13, 14, 15, and 0 left. See a 13 there peeking around the corner. So we'll grab that one. Actually, few. The other thing I want to shout out is the people that have been making games for the past 10 years but still haven't released their titles. I know you're still out there. I played some of those titles, some of them 10 years ago. I'm hoping that they eventually surface. Don't give up those dreams either, please. Because your art and what you've been building is important. Not just to me. And I hope that someday whether it be on these devices or your emulating VR on a retro console. Hoping that many years from now, somebody will pick up even this color cube game and have a fantastic time with it. Lots of 14s and 15s, but I don't know where the 14s are. They're probably up on top here. Yep, that's where they are. Let's see here. Lots of 15s. I know there's more 14s, so they're probably, yeah, there they are. A lot less now to get. Try to get to these ones. There we go. Not a lot of 14s now. They're mostly 15s. Should be able to pick out the lonely 14s, right? There's one. There's another 14. There's another 14. And there's another 14. Alright, so we've got 15 and 13 left. Running out of battery, so I plugged in power for now. We're almost done with this puzzle. There's a 13. More 15s. There's 13s. Alright, now we're down to just 15s left. I know me sitting on stream coloring, probably not the most photogenic or interesting video, but I definitely encourage checking out this experience for yourself. There are hundreds of puzzles at this point available to color and color keep. Especially if you've had stressful times like I have recently. Also a good way to take your mind off of things a little bit. Or focus your mind on certain things. Whether you've watched my content over the years, you're stumbling upon this, you're new to the VR community or been around for many years, thank you. It's really been a pleasure to create content exploring immersive world for the past decade. We've completed that model. I'm going to rate that with 5 stars because I really enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.